So I get this question all the time of like, hey Oscar, how many cars do you do per day? How many cars do you do on average? How many cars do you do per week? How many cars do I have to do in order to leave my full-time job? How many cars? And he's like, how many cars do I have to do for XYZ? And the problem with that though is, one, you're a business owner or you're trying to be a business owner. So there's nothing guaranteed to how many cars or how much money you'll make per day, because you can have one car, you can have 3 cars, you can have 0 cars. You can't think about yourself as a business owner because in terms of making money, because you're more of a salesperson that only gets paid when you make a sale. So it's more commission based than a business. It's not like you have a salary right now. It's not like you have wages. It's not like, it's when you make a sale, when you book someone into your calendar, that's when you get paid. So you have to think of yourself more as a salesperson in terms of how you get money, and not like a CEO or a business owner, because you don't have any wages, you don't have a salary, you don't have a steady stream of income coming in to your pockets every single week from your business. You only get paid when you get a detail booked into your calendar. So to me, you guys are like, well, how many cars do you do on average? I always say, hey, look, we do anywhere between 0 to 4 cars. Why do I say 0? Well, because there's gonna be times, right? Because there's nothing guaranteed with what we do, because we're our own boss. We are in charge of our business. We are the one responsible for booking in vehicles into the calendar. If it rains out, if we just get people to cancel, if we get people that just reschedule, if just, things don't go our way for a specific day or a specific time, or for whatever the reason, like, we can also do no cars. And it has happened, and it did happen just recently, where we had $400 on the schedule for the day and everyone rescheduled. Although, to be fair, the reason why they rescheduled is because we had just had a tropical depression come by. So it was still really cloudy. It still had rained. So a part of Houston had got flooded. So it was actually a very fair reason why they wanted to reschedule. But nonetheless, we still had $400 of work off from the day because everyone wanted to reschedule. So we could have made 400. We made 0 instead. So what do you do when that happens? Do you start to panic? Do you do anything different? Do you start to think that your business is failing, that you're not going to make any money, you're not going to cover your bills, that now things from now on are going to start looking worse? What do you do when that happens? Okay, so with this one, wow, the sun's right in my face. So with this one, we have 3 vehicles to do at this location. All of them are just going to be basic interior cleanings. The vehicles are coated, and like some of the vehicles were reupholstered on the inside, so it's like super basic cleaning. Now the thing with this customer is, this customer scheduled these 3 vehicles about a month and a half ago, when we still had this, when the service was still called a basic interior cleaning and the pricing was much lower. So they booked it around like a month and a half ago, but we changed the pricing around like 30 days ago. So as of right now, like everyone else that gets this type of service is on a upgraded service because we added stuff to the service, but it's also at an increased price. But this customer is at the old pricing. So would you keep the same pricing even though he booked a month and a half ago, or would you upgrade, or would you put him on the new pricing because it's now, you're now in the new pricing structure? So with us, obviously, because he scheduled a month and a half ago, way before we changed the pricing and the service in itself, they're still the same pricing. So it's the same work that we do on the upgraded service, except it's not significantly cheaper, but it is not just at the price point that we set at right now. Okay, like I said, there's nothing here for us to touch. Like, there's no vacuuming involved, because we can just blow it out. Like, the seats are in pristine condition. We're still gonna wipe everything down because there's like little smudges there, if you can see that right here. But other than that, I mean, it's this is just like a wipe down as it's supposed to be. Like, there's 0 cleaning whatsoever right here. So we started around, well, to be fair, I got here at 9:15. Lex started at 9. It's now 11:30. It's like moving the vehicles around. We talked to the customer for a while. The next one's at 12:30. So when I'm making these videos, sometimes I'll get the timing so wrong because like I'm in the moment and I don't know what time, or I don't double check the time. But it is 11:30 right now. The next one's at 12:30, and it's a 35-minute drive. So either we have to finish this in like 15 minutes, which we will. The customer's gonna pay us later, which is fine. We'll pass by some food, then get to the second customer. I'd say like around 12:30 to like 12:45, and again like 15 to 20 minutes, they don't mind. We're not late that often. But when we do, we communicate with the customer. We let them know, hey, we'll be there like in 15 minutes, in 10 minutes. We'll be a little late. Just communication. Like it's really like even if we're an hour late, which that rarely happens. As long as you communicate with the customer and make sure they're okay with it, or if they prefer to reschedule, like it's okay. Like some of you guys are like go bonkers. Oh my, you're 30 minutes late. Like first of all, it doesn't happen often, but if it does, communicate with the customer. That's it. And again, there wasn't much going on here, so we're gonna wrap it up and we're gonna head off to the second location, which it's 12 o'clock. It's a 30-minute drive. It's scheduled for 12:30, but we pushed it back 15 minutes so we can pass by lunch or something. Back to the subject at hand is that, so what do you do when you get reschedules in a day? Maybe you had, you know, a $200 day, a $400 day, a $600 day, and one reschedule, two reschedule. Maybe throughout the week you have 1 to 3 people rescheduling. What do you do, right? Are things actually falling apart? Well, see, if you're in control of your business, which I kind of refer to in a lot of the videos, if you're in control of your business, well, then nothing really changes. I mean, you just go about your day. Maybe you free up time throughout your day to now focus on your marketing, your financings, getting caught up with your bookkeeping, maybe doing some other things you just haven't had time to get around to. But if you're not in control of your business and you frantically or like desperately need those $200, you start to get real scared. You start to get real stressed. You start to get real nervous about, oh my God, like, is this gonna continue on now? Oh, like, can I make my next payment? Can I do this? Can I do that? So if you're in control of your business and you know what you're doing, well, that's not really that big of a deal. You just continue what you need to keep on doing. Like for us, we didn't do anything different. I mean, we went. I forgot what we did. Actually, that day we didn't do anything. We just took that day off because we're like, hey, you know what? I mean, we totally understand it happens. So we just took that day off, and the next day everything went back to normal. But there's been other times that we're like, a customer cancels at 11 p.m., right? Let's say we have a detail at 9 a.m. They cancel at 11 p.m. that previous night. Do we have a cancellation fee? No. Do we try to reschedule them? Yes. And if they don't reschedule and they said they'll reach back out to us, well then, you know, it's just part about being in business. Like, we know we have enough traffic leading sales to where, that, you know, come tomorrow, we're gonna book another 2 customers throughout the week. And yes, over the next 2-3 weeks, we'll have another, you know, one reschedule, one cancel, one reschedule here and there, because it's just a part of being in business. So when you get a cancellation, when you get a reschedule, you just have to, 1, understand that it's a part of business. It's going to happen. 2, don't let it get to you mentally. I mean, things aren't gonna always go your way. Yes, we always want a $500 day. Yes, we always want a $700 day. Yes, we want to consistently hit $1,000 a day. But is that always gonna happen every single time? No. And it's okay when it doesn't. You just need, that's why it's important to is have a strategy in place, like where you're getting your traffic leads and sales. Like if you're going based off of like referrals and word of mouth, and you get one referral every other week, then yeah, it's easy for your business to get, rather not your business, but it's easy for your mentality to get caught up in like, oh my God, like, you know, is this it? This is me gonna fail now? Like, do I have to go get another job? Because you don't have that reliable source of traffic lead and sales to where you know you're gonna have income coming in every single week. All right, so we're here on the second location, yet another interior. I'll talk about that in another video on why we do so many interiors. But this one, decently bad. We're charging $240. Should take us around 2 and maybe closer to 3 hours, just because we're gonna slow down a little bit because we're gonna take lunch. Regardless, about 2.5 hours actually. Like actual working time, 2.5 hours. We'll probably be here like 3 hours, but working time 2.5 hours. Pet hair, debris all over the carpeting. The carpeting is that terrible carpeting. the terrible stains on the cloth seats. Door panels honestly aren't that bad. Those are a quick scrub down, so I'm not worried about the door panels. It's just the seats and the carpeting, as it usually is. So the reason I said it's gonna be 2.5 hours to work, but we're probably gonna be here 3 hours, is because instead of us passing by lunch before we got here, I started working and Lex went to go get food for the both of us, and then he came back and he ate, and then we started working a little bit, and then I took my 15-minute break. So that's why I said it should be a 2.5 hour job, but we're gonna be here like 3 hours because we both kind of took a break, and that's gonna, you know, obviously slow down production. So right now we had, when he left, I just blew everything out, vacuumed all the carpeting and the floor mats. That way when he got here, we could just go straight to agitation. So he got here, we started pre-spraying, we agitated and extracted. He's finishing up the extraction, or doing something with the extraction. And then once we get done with that, I mean, it's just plastics after that. So it should be fairly easy. So overall, it is right now 2 o'clock, 12:45. So we've been here an hour and 15 minutes, but you know, for the most part, it's in one person working at a time. So it's a little weird on this one. But, you know, again, like when you're mobile, when you're going through the day, like things aren't going to go as planned. So you just do the best that you can. So I still want to be done by like 2 o'clock. Yeah, so when I'm making these videos, sometimes I'll get the timing so wrong because like I'm in the moment and I don't know what time, or I don't double check the time. But alright, so now it's about 3:15. It's a 2.5 hour mark. Like I said, we'd be here for like 3 hours, but we'll be actually working on the vehicle for 2.5 hours. I was wrong because it's barely 2.5 hours, and we're about to be done though. So like from we got here from 12:45 to like 1:15, it was just me working because Lex went to go get food and have his break. And then from 1:15 to 1:45 we were working, and from 1:45 to 2 I took my break. And then from 2 to 3 till now, we've been working together. So it was a bit weird because, like, you know, we still wanted to take a break. It was hot, so he worked a little bit by himself. I worked a little bit by myself. So it's a bit weird of a day. But we're closing in on 2.5 hours. It'll be like 2 hours and 45 minutes, and we should be done with the interior. We're just doing the door jams. He's doing the windows and glass, calling out the customer, and that's it on this one. Alright, so that was 365 for 2 actually. I didn't record the first lift, and I was supposed to do that on camera, so I literally did it twice just so you guys can see it on camera here. So the first 3 vehicles, again, like it was when we charged, it was when our service was called the basic interior cleaning, and that's before we raised the prices. So obviously we honored those prices because he scheduled before we upgraded the service and pricing. So it was 40, 40, 80, I think. 80 for the Escalade, 40, 40 for the smaller vehicles. Then the second vehicle that you just saw there was was 240, and it took 2.5 hours. The first customer tipped like 20, I think, and the second customer tipped 46. So our goal right now is like, we want to at least make $400 a day. We want to average out $500 a day. So today, just not including tips, was 400, I think, or somewhere around there. So overall, not that bad. All right, so to finish off this video, I want to talk to you about like what should, or like my recommendation between like what do you do when you have a cancellation or reschedule. Like, you know, again, are you in control of your business, or are you not in control of your business? So if you're in control of your business, right, that means, I'm not saying that your business is thriving, but you at least you know the next steps and what to do. So if you get a cancellation or reschedule, one, can you reschedule them, right? A cancellation doesn't mean that they're just gone. Like, maybe they want to get rescheduled later in the future. Like, that happens to us not quite often, but regularly. We're like, oh, hey, like, instead of Tuesday, can we push it back to Friday? And then Friday it comes through. So like, we can reschedule them. We don't worry about them because usually they'll follow through. We have some cancellations. It's fine. It's a part of the process. But if you do get that, again, make sure if you can reschedule. If you don't have traffic leading sales, right? If you don't have any of that, and you're concerned about, oh my God, like a reschedule, a cancellation, then your primary focus is to get more traffic leading sales, which is focusing on marketing. And I know I'm like a broken record and I keep on saying that, but for a lot of the problems that you have, it's gonna come down to that. Like, I don't care about your sales skills, about you have a script and this, and I don't care about the tools and products that you use, and that you have your shirt branded and a branded hat, and oh my God, you got your business license and yada yada yada. Like, that does not matter if you don't have a reliable source that generates traffic leading sales, that brings in quality leads on a daily basis. Then no matter what you do, you're always going to be on the, like, oh my God, my business, like, oh, someone canceled, oh, I don't have enough money, oh, I don't have this. That's not you in control. So if you don't know what to do, your next step is to figure out what to do. I know it sounds kind of cliche, but if you don't know what you're supposed to be doing, figure out what you're supposed to be doing. That's 9 out of 10 times is going to be marketing and sales. Okay, like focusing on SEO on your website, on Instagram, on Facebook, on Reels, like whatever it may be. Like, you have to focus in on what's going to generate a consistent flow of qualified leads on a daily basis. So right now in our business, like, someone cancels, someone thinks we're too expensive, someone doesn't want to wait for us because we're booked out 2 weeks in advance. It's fine, right? Like, we wish we can get to everyone, right, that's willing to pay, but the truth of the matter is it's not going to happen. So we're not worried about it because we have a lot of customers coming in, or a lot of qualified leads coming to our business, to where we can say, okay, like, we can fit them in where we can fit them in. If we can't, it sucks. We'd like to service their vehicle and stuff, but we just can't. We don't charge a cancellation fee. Like, I would hate if a business would do that. First of all, like, who would actually pay a cancellation fee? Two, that, like, I personally just would hate to pay a cancellation fee. So we don't charge a cancellation fee. If we only get a deposit on vehicles, on details, if it's like 600 plus or more, 240, 340, 440, like, we're not going to get a deposit, because then that's a lot of deposits we have to go after every single time just to service the vehicle. So anything under like 550-ish, like, it's fine. Customers always come through, like, they don't reschedule. And if they do, it happens every once in a while. If it's 600 plus, we'll get a deposit. Because if it's primarily gonna take the whole day, we'll take a deposit on one vehicle. But oftentimes, $400, $450, $300 days, like, from one vehicle, we don't get a deposit, because imagine, like, getting that many deposits, and then, like, the accounting side, like, okay, like, we got a $100 transaction, then we gotta match it up to, like, no, we just get deposits on 600 plus services. And for you, it might be different. It might be 400 and you get a deposit. But to make our life easier, we just do it on the higher end side. Like, when it's 600 plus, we'll get a deposit. And if they don't pay the deposit, we don't save them the spot. If they don't pay the deposit, if they don't pay the deposit, we don't save them the spot, because if they don't follow through with us, then that's a whole day just gone for us. So obviously that's there for cushion. I'll end the video right here. I kind of went all over the place, so hopefully you learned something. Just gonna do another back down set of like maybe 335, like maybe 2x4 or something. Anyhow, let me know if you have any comments, questions, concerns down below. You can download the guide, the ultimate guide to start your detailing business, down below. Follow me on Instagram, and I'll see you on the next one.